expensive signings out of position, old boys who weren't booed and other moments missed from Everton's game at Watford. The narrative of Everton's 1-0 defeat at Watford was dominated by Marco Silva's return to his former club, but as always some more subtle moments from the afternoon that might have flown under the radar. Winging it, there have been plenty of incumbents for Everton's right-wing position this season without anyone entirely convincing. Theo Walcott started the campaign there but has found himself out of favour for prolonged periods in recent weeks, while Ademola Lookman and Bernard have also filled the role, sometimes taking it in turns in the game. However, for the trip to Vicarage Road another candidate was found in the shape of the latter's Brazilian compatriot Richarlison. If playing in a new position wasn't challenging enough for Marco Silva's big signing of the summer, he also had to contend with a baying home crowd who at times were just as vociferous in their condemnation of their former player as they were their former manager. Silva also provided the Watford fans with the opportunity to be even more gleeful when he hooked Richarlison moments after the home side had scored. Given the rut Everton have got themselves into, Silva cannot be blamed for trying to shake things up with his tactics to try and achieve a different result, but this experiment did not prove successful, especially as it saw Gylfi Sigurdsson shunted out to the left to fill in for Richarlison in a function he was crowbarred into more times than you care to remember last term, remaining on the periphery of the action rather than in his favoured number 10 role. Old boys who weren't booed, unlike Silva and Richarlison, the former Watford men in the Everton camp, the two ex-Blues in the home lineup enjoyed considerably easier rides. Gerard Deulofeu, who of course had 2 spells with the club, was a popular figure at Goodison Park but despite his rich talents would often flatter to deceive. This latest display was typical of the one-time Barcelona protégé. He often looked a threat with his quick feet and dribbling but ultimately produced no end product and was hauled off. Coming on for Deulofeu when he made way was another Everton alumni, Cleverley. Another inoffensive non-target for the visiting fans. The midfielder had a largely uneventful time on Merseyside after arriving on a Bosman free transfer and being sold to Watford for a tidy profit. Although he once scored a last-gasp winner for the Blues at St James Park, arguably his greatest contribution to the club was hitting a stoppage-time penalty wide for Watford at Goodison Park last season when Everton recovered from 2-0 down to record a 3-2 victory. That's the problem though. Watford are a middle-ranking team consisting mostly of Premier League journeymen and man-for-man. Marco Silva's expensively assembled side should be considerably better than them. But they're not. The throes of passion apart from getting rather angry with both Silva and Richarlison, Watford fans' pet hate seemed to be Lucas Digne and his throw-ins. As a full-back, the French international inevitably tends to take a lot of them over the course of a game, but with each one he took, the home support appeared to get more and more agitated. There seemed little wrong with Digne's throwing action, as just mentioned, his wide position on the pitch ensures he gets plenty of practice, but instead the cause of their ire seemed to be the position of the former Barcelona player's feet. Watford's eagle-eyed sticklers for the laws of the game claimed that Digne was stepping over the line with his deliveries and became increasingly furious with referee Lee Probert and his officials for not taking action. From our own vantage point, neither of the Echo's 2 reporters at the game could spot anything wrong. Missing the party, Silva's team sheet was in many ways as interesting over who was not on the pitch as who was. For the second game in 4 days, Seamus Coleman, who has been Everton's captain for large portions of the season, was left on the bench with John Joe Kenny preferred at right back. Alongside him was the aforementioned Lookman who, after being left out for Manchester City's visit, didn't get on either. And despite supposedly being fit, Morgan Schneiderlin did not even make the list of substitutes, with Silva instead opting for long-term injury victim James McCarthy, who hasn't kicked a ball for the first team in over a year. What does that say for Schneiderlin's future at the club, and if indeed he does not have one, who is going to take him on? Flagging fortunes for all the anti-Silva sentiment, toy snakes, slogans on shirts and placards plus various unflattering chants. The most striking sight from the stands at Vicarage Road was a huge banner in rather better taste that was unfurled by the home faithful before kickoff. Liveried in Watford's colours of gold and red, The image filled almost the entire rookery end of the ground where the home side's most vociferous support are traditionally housed, and depicted 8 majestically antlered stags, the county symbol of Hertfordshire. Think about it, the county town of Hertford actually comes from Hertford, meaning a stag crossing a river. It was a brief but visually spectacular based on love for their own team rather than hatred of someone else. Of course, Hornets fans remain less than enamored over Everton's initial approach for Silva in the autumn of 2017. Blues supporters will surely react in a similar manner if someone had tried to take their manager after less than half a season in charge. However, given their heritage that Everton and Watford share, the 1984 FA Cup final and their mutual use of the Z-Cars theme, there needn't be any animosity between the two sets of fans, which makes it all the more disconcerting to hear reports of violence after the game.